projected to fall to 1/4 of its current level. Russell Group institutions, the top research-led institutions, are having the people who came through access courses, the people who came from doing foundation courses, anyone who hasn't come straight out of A-levels at sixth form is being pushed out of top universities. Now when you look at the kind of people who might not necessarily have come out of college at 18 with the requisite A-levels, you see it's a straightforward question of class. What they're doing is going to send back access to higher education by 30 years. The only thing that's keeping people trying to get into higher education your diary to keep in mind on the question of the defence of education. I'm sure we can
education is very important, but the government don't want you educated, of course, because there's nothing more dangerous to the state than poor people who can think for themselves. Just on the note of education, just what Bob was saying, I've got to say, get to those demonstrations, they will be great days. I'd just like to say a word for our Labour leader, Ed Miliband. Now Ed Miliband has promised that if he gets into power, he will reduce the student tuition fees from 9 grand to 6 grand. What a hero. So now, it's not just the disgustingly rich that can go to the universities, but the quite rich too. What a guy. So remember to vote Labour, guys. It'll only be 6 grand. Everyone at the back there, I feel like you're kind of far away. I think I have a megaphone, but you know, it doesn't penetrate so far. So if everyone wants to come in a little bit closer and have a seat, you know, we're going to be here for a while, so make yourselves comfortable.
In Ireland and in London, people are fighting back. We're asserting our right as 99% of the population to say we've had enough of greedy banks taking our money, ripping us off, paying themselves exorbitant bonuses while we lose our services, our jobs, our pensions, our colleges, our education, our NHS. On the 30th, we need to be standing beside them. We need to be building the biggest possible strike action on the 30th, because if we stand together across the world, we can stop the cuts, we can fight for a better future, we can change this world. Today we are here, tomorrow and on the 30th of November we will be on the streets in our millions. Stand together, fight back, we are the 99%.
Sounds like threatening talk to me. Don't even try to talk to me.
Sack the bankers, not the workers. Sack the bankers, not the workers. Sack the bankers, not the workers. Bankers, not the workers. Sack the bankers, not the workers. Sack the bankers, not the workers. Sack the bankers, not the workers.
Can I give you a word?
When I say cut back,
We say fight back!
when I say cut back,
We say fight back!
cut back,
Fight back!
cut back,
Fight back!
cut back.
Fight, fight, fight back!
When I say cut back,
We say fight back!
when I say cut back,
We say fight back!
cut back. General,
Strike!
General,
Strike!
Don't do it.
I'm here today with my 3 young children who have now not got a future due to the elitists in this country who are taking the education away from every single working class person in this country. We all need to fight back and show force. This is not fair on each and every child who is being forced into the situation exploitation by these greedy bankers who we have all had to back up out of our taxes. Fight the bankers, fight the system, let's get this thing sorted once and for all.
So give a big thank you to the police officers who have come down today. I just spoke to this gentleman. What's your name, sir? Sorry? First name? Just your first name, sir? Jim. That's a nice name, isn't it? But yes, I was talking to Jim earlier, and apparently Jim is supposed to be at work policing, but instead he has come down to support the demonstration. He was a demonstrator and they wouldn't let him in. Graham here was a bit more tactical about it, as was the inspector who's also taking part in the occupation of the bank. Thanks, guys. Oh no, I think he's shy, guys. Don't intimidate him. Jim has requested a joke. That's fair enough. Okay, so I asked 100 women for a magazine survey what kind of shampoo they use when they're in the shower, and 98 of them answered, "How the hell did you get in here?" I'm better at demonstrating than jokes. This gentleman here, would you like the microphone? Yep.
Myself, I suffer from epilepsy from birth, so I really appreciate the NHS and the help. I suffer from epilepsy from birth, so I really appreciate the NHS and the help from birth. My parents also suffer from arthritis, so I really appreciate the help as well. But with the 2% of only 2% of the 4,100 companies paying the taxes in full, and 98% of them having tax breaks, doing tax cuts and whatnot, how do we expect the NHS, the police force, the fire brigade, and other public services to last more than 5 years?
You don't have to go in.
The NHS, the fire brigade, the ambulance service, the police and everything else are not going to last more than 5 to 10 years, and then everything's going to be cut back, and if your house gets burgled, the police are not going to be there. They're going to phone it up and say, yeah, well here's the record number for your insurance. That's what's going to happen all across the UK. So let's stand here now and get all the 98% of the companies that are doing all this banking malarkey. We're not going to have a country to stand on in 5 years. Right, well, thank you.
Some great points there. I have a wife and she's disabled, has very severe mental problems, and so she's on the disabled benefits, and this is another thing that the government are looking to take off people. But I don't mind, personally, I don't mind having to work and pay my taxes so that people like this fellow who's just spoken here can have the NHS, they can have that there and they can live a decent life. The people on benefits are not the scroungers in our society. The money paid out on benefits every year is nothing compared to what the bankers are stealing in bonuses. So just have a think about that. Well, you're all... You don't have to do it. Stop them robbing the country. If you went to your local branch of your bank and there was a big crowd of people there with police and security guards and police had to escort you into the bank, wouldn't you think, what's going on here? Why do I have to walk into a bank? It doesn't sound like the actions of a bank that does the right
Not bad, is it? Yeah.
Unless you didn't hear that, 1.6% on £300 overdraft. £100 a week if you go over. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, Halifax is £1 a day. Yes. What I want to tell you about is how, you know how Cameron and the government, and not just our government, governments all across Europe, across most of the world, tell you, well, yes, we know it's hard, yes, this austerity is really tough, but we have to do it, there is no alternative. Well, yes, there is an alternative. In Latin America, and I work on Latin American history and politics at the University of Liverpool, in several countries in Latin America, in Venezuela, in Bolivia, in Ecuador, for example, they have nationalized banks, and they have nationalized them not just to bail them out, but to invest in public services, and to invest in new industries and provide employment. And not only that, their economies have not tanked, as some people would suggest. On the contrary, they're prospering, they're growing, they're creating more jobs. And there is a country in Europe which is beginning to show an alternative as well, and they don't want you to know about that, of course, either. And that's Iceland. In Iceland, where the banks went belly up, they nationalised the banks. They changed the government. They've had a democratic process by which the people themselves are involved in writing a new constitution. And they've stood up to the International Monetary Fund and to international finance. And they're actually starting to do quite well. So there is an alternative. Investing people, and which spends money on public services and on productive investment and not on bailing out billionaires. Thank you.
Yeah, well, she's talking.